Hello everybody, good day to you. Welcome back. Glad you guys are here. I know, I'm super glad to be here. We are climbing into a 2010 Ford F-150. It's got the 5.4, that's the big engine, and the key doesn't turn. Which one of my 3 keys? It has approximately, starting the engine, let's find out what's on the odometer, about 193,925.4 miles before we were rudely interrupted by some a plethora of warnings, and a check engine light, and a tire pressure light, and a seatbelt light. Yeah, it's got all kinds of stuff wrong with it. However, we're not gonna pay any regard to any of that. This is a work truck. It is ragged out, it's beat up. It does work truck things. And the only thing we are interested in is why the climate control does not work. Because it is now hot again in Florida and we need climate control. So we had like 2 days of cold weather and now it's hot out. And we want to get this thing back on the road. This is a work cruise vehicle. They do work things with it. It spends its time out in the wild, out in the Florida sun, in the Florida heat. And our driver and workers who ride inside of this particular truck would like some creature comforts. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this thing in and attempt to diagnose the climate control situation here. I just fired up the blower motor. It is blowing hot air as we speak, so there is appears to be no cooling. The compressor has been turned on. Let's nose this thing up real quick and take a look under the hood and see what's going on here. Popping the hood. I can tell you right now, it's not sounding that great. I hear some kind of rattle action under the hood. Tires are worn out. Body's in decent shape, but it's not, mechanically, it's not living its best life right now. I'll get in this thing. There we go. Yeah, there we go. That's the 5.4 Triton 3 valve. That's the big motor. So since we're dealing with the AC situation here, let's take a look. Make sure we've got some refrigerant in the system first. I will do that by connecting the service machine to it. Fire this unit up. Get our hoses out, connected, turned on. Let's see if we have refrigerant or pressure in the system, and then we can evaluate from there. That's our low side connector. Guys in the field, anybody who does AC work, in automotive especially, when you connect your service lines, do everyone and yourself a favor. Do not wrench down on these valves right here. All you got to do is turn them until they stop. That's it. You do not have to tighten them once you go to open. Just turn, and then as soon as it stops, you're good. If you tighten them, you'll start to wear the threads out inside that mechanism, and it really serves no purpose except to damage and destroy your fittings. So please don't do that. Huge pet peeve of mine. Anyway, we've got pressure going on here, but look what we have. 100 PSI on the high side and 105, yeah, 105 on the low side. So yeah, 105, 105. That means that this system is equalized. So we will not achieve any cooling because we have got to have a pressure differential here. That way our refrigerant can go through its change of state. Now, taking a peek down there, it appears that compressor is running, but it's not looking that hot. Let me put you guys down that hole a little bit so you can see better. I'm gonna go into the cabin and cycle this compressor on and off. And we're gonna see if we can't witness a change of state on that compressor face down there. We wanna see if the clutch is engaging or if the clutch is not engaging. There's potential that the clutch just isn't engaging and we have an electrical issue with the system, or the clutch is engaging and the compressor itself is not pumping. So we need to determine what is the nature of the failure at this point. And again, we still have no pressure change here, really. Yeah, nothing's going on. Okay, let me sneak you guys down in this hole a little bit, and you guys watch that compressor wheel, and I'll hit the buttons. Okie doke, so I set the lift arms while you guys weren't looking. It appears that our machine is nearly done recovering. Let's go ahead and run this thing up in the air. Smack the subscribe button. Moving on up. No, I'm serious about that subscribe button though. the algorithm is doing weird algorithm things. I'm actually going to throw out an ask on this one right here. If this is your first time here and you like this kind of content, consider that subscribe button down below. If you are a regular viewer, now is the opportunity for that like button. Like I said, the algorithm is being a little finicky lately. Not sure what's going on, but some changes have taken place. So I'm trying to keep up with the times here, and we're looking for a little bit of user interaction on this particular video. I realize I don't usually engage in that type of direct self-promotion, but like I said, we're just looking for a little bit of user interaction here from the viewers. There we go, at the top. I'm running out of cable on my machine. Let's roll it over for some more slack. We don't want to pull the cables out of it. Okay, let's see here what we're looking at. Yeah, that's been replaced before. Normal Ford 3-bolt compressing unit. That clutch is looking good. You can still see, you see stuff coming out of it from the back side around the pulley. See that? Taking a look at the front, it appears there's also some damage there. Yeah, that's not looking good. That whole clutch assembly, it's got something coming out of it there. Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah, this thing's junk. Okay, we need an AC compressor. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna go fetch the belt removal tool. Looks like it's just gonna be a 1/2-inch ratchet. Let's pull this belt off, disconnect this compressor, and get the thing pulled out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and order a new one. Hopefully I can get the new one here by the time I get this one out, and we'll slap the unit in and see how the system performs. All right, coming in with the 1/2-inch drive ratchet. We'll get that guy set up. Give that a tug, do that. And I need to reach in here, pull that belt off the compressor. I'm gonna try to leave the belt alone and just pull it off with a one pulley. We'll tuck it aside right here. And then relieve the ratchet. We'll just leave that alone for now. All right, let's head down below and attempt to get these bolts loose on this compressor unit. I've got a 3/8 gun with a 10mm wobble extension here. That should let me get a hold of this guy and just get the bolts broken loose. I do need to take the hoses off. However, that's not gonna work. It is. Sweet. Anyway, I do need to get the hoses off, but I can't reach the, the nuts and the bolts on those hoses up there because there's tight clearances between the compressor and the block. Loud noises. There we go, got that one. And I lost the flashing light. Oh no! There. So this guy, that's classic Ford syndrome right there. Look at that. The bolt is interference, and it does not come out because it's hitting the frame. You guys see that? The heck, Ford. Why would you do that? No matters. There goes that flashlight again. Need more steam. I don't need more steam, I need less impact. Or less extension. I took the extension off. See how the extensions eat up torque? There we go. Pull that guy out. This thing's all oily too. Might be time to fetch some gloves. Okay, AC machine is shut down. That thing was making a lot of noise. I'm gonna reach up and disconnect the electrical connector. I don't want the compressor to move or attempt to fall or whatever, and then it puts an unnecessary strain on that wiring harness. I know you guys can't see, my apologies. It appears that the connector has come off of its bracket on the compressor, so now I've got just a connector flopping around with two, with nothing holding the other side. That's gonna be fun to remove. Now I can't get it disconnected. Okay. Oi, I don't like this job already. It's gross. Okay, one last attempt at that stupid connector. I'm gonna block y'all's view. I need to push down the tab on the connector, which is like right here, and then get behind the body or between the two pieces of plastic there and separate them while pressing the tab. And I can't even see it, so I know y'all can't see. Really sorry, but I really need to get this thing off of here. It's bothering me so bad that it's stuck. And I've got the connector depressed, or the tab rather. I think it's started to separate. Oh, come on, please. Yeah, it moved. I just can't get my hands in there. There's nowhere to reach. Come on, please, 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 come out. Yeah, this is not looking super hot for me. Ooh, did I get it? Yep, there we go, got it. Okay, connector's apart. Now I don't have fear of breaking the thing. So what I need to do is push that little bolt back in a little bit. We can wiggle this thing loose. See, now we've got some motion out of it, and the angle is turned. So now we're gonna go back up top, and we're gonna get to the bolts that, or the nuts rather, that hold the AC lines down to the compressor. Once we get that off, we can just walk the compressor out forward through the front of the engine. So let's get out from under here, let the truck down, and fish that unit out of there. Okay, up off the locks, lock release, and down we go. All the way down. Okay, contact with the ground. Let's see if we cannot see. Yep, I can see them. Two 13mm nuts on both of those hoses right there. There's one right below us in front of the purple sticker, and then one right above that one. So I need to get in there with a 13 on an extension and a swivel, break those nuts loose, and then pull the lines off. Okay, we've got a 13 on a swivel, on an extension, on a ratchet. We get down in there, break these nuts loose, get the hoses disconnected, and then we can extract, unclicks, we'll extract this compressor. Wow, is that like halfway rounded off? That didn't feel that great. That's nice, rounded off nuts. That's all we need here. There we go, she turned, okay. We do not have rounded nuts. Good. So if you have distorted nuts, you might be in trouble. We don't need that. Okay, that one's loose. We'll try to reach my flanges down in there and get that thing pulled out. I don't know if I can get my hand in that hole. It's a pretty tight squeeze right there. I need pliers. I know. Well, this is nice. I have an opportunity to utilize my Milwaukee curvy needle nose pliers. Again, they came in handy yesterday on the BMW, and now, again today. Awesome. Okay, that's one loose, and the other one, I don't know if you can see, but the nut is like right under the hose right here. I think I'm going to have to remove that first hose. Let me reach around here. I may have to pull this one off first. No, I've got to unbolt the top one first. The top hose is capturing the bottom hose, and it won't move. Okay, that makes this more harder. Try to sneak this guy back in. Gonna have to reach in there somehow, some way. Good thing this engine's not hot, or this would be a no-go operation for sure. I wonder. I can't reach. Got it. Okay, that's on there. See that? It's on. Now I just need to break that thing loose. Oh, unclickage. All right, it's loose. Spin it off. I'll go back in with the pliers, pluck that that nut out of there if I don't drop it, and then we can work on removing those two hoses. Once those are gone, the thing should come right out. Okay, here we go. And the nut stayed. Okay, I was hoping the nut would get stuck in the socket, but it seems to have stayed. No worries. It's a job for the Milwaukee pliers. Reach that guy down, and this is gonna be fun putting these back on. I'm not sure how I'm gonna manage that. Okay, got it. Excellent. Yeah, these are a real aggressive tip. I put a link, I think it was an Amazon link I used in the last one, and I found a YouTube link also. It should show up somewhere at the bottom of this video at some point if you guys are interested in those. I'm not selling them to you, it's just some stuff I bought that I like them so far. Anyway, let's wiggle these hoses out of here, get them disconnected from the compressor. Okay, so now I need to reach in, grab a hold of these hoses and wiggle them until they come out of that compressor. See how they're kind of stuck in there? The O-ring is grabbing them. We just keep on giving it wiggles until that thing comes out. Poof! There's one. Yeah, there was a slight vacuum on the system from the discharge. That wasn't helping either. So here, we'll pull this one up and just kind of stick it out of the way, I think. Might have to pull it out through the front here. Fold it some. Come on out there. Okay, there's one hose disconnected. Now that other one, reach down in there. Same thing, just kind of wiggle it around until it comes out. They tend to get a little captured by the O-ring. Come out, or I will pry driver you out. Come on, there we go. Okay, that second hose is disconnected. I'm gonna reach back, grab the that stud that was sticking out of the compressor. Remember the one that didn't come out because of the frame rail? I pulled it out by that. It's a good little handle. Here she comes. One compressing unit extracted. Add oil here. Yeah, it's definitely a aftermarket unit of some sort. Oh, we're leaking. We're leaking the schmoo. Okay, we have to take note of these pins right here and right here. Those are going to locate this in the block so it doesn't turn all sideways. And looky here. That clutch is smoked on this unit. See junk. I wonder if it locked up. Yeah, hard to tell. Either way, I've got a new one en route. It is not here yet, but when she shows up, we'll compare the two, swap the studs if need be, charge it with some oil, and then slip it into position down in our engine there. You nasty, green nasty. X amount of moments later, and I have a replacement AC compressing unit. Let's see what we've got in here. This one's a Motorcraft, not an aftermarket Rainman. This is a new unit, newly manufactured. It says Fomaco right on the sticker. That's how you know it's good. Let's do some compare action here. So we're looking at 2 dowel pins to locate the compressor in the block. We've got the correct number of ribs in the pulley. That's good. 2 studs, inlet and outlet. Excuse me, inlet and outlet, that's the bigger one. Those in the same place. The connector, that looks to be the same. Good. Yeah, that goes in like right here. That's what was giving me all that grief earlier. That's supposed to stay there. Anyway, this appears to be the correct unit. Yeah, see how we've got this rubber insert here? Same thing here, but this one has disintegrated and come apart. Probably because it got dropped once and that was bent. See that? Look at that. Little bend right there. That would be an excellent place for a failure point. Right there. Okay. Well, this is the correct unit. Let's go ahead and get this thing prepped up, drop into position, bolted back in. We cannot neglect the single bolt. That has to be in the unit before we go to drop it in. Once this guy is in the hole, we will get the hoses back on it, pull it down into a vacuum, and then see, fingers crossed, if this system is going to turn on and begin cooling. We need a 13 wrench. We'll get the nuts off of that compressor, the new one, pull the plugs, depressurize it, and then we can put the plugs back in so the oil doesn't spill out, and we'll drop her down in the hole. Come on! The wrong 13. Here, I want this 13, not the smaller 13. Silly Ray. Unclicks. Times 2. Okay. Okay, no pressure in the system, that's good. Just make sure these plugs do not get stuck, and they do not. Good. Okay, let's drop this thing down into its new home and get her hooked up. All right, Motocraft compressor. Let's go ahead and lower this thing down. Get it oriented properly. Uh-oh, my hoses are in the way. Stay. Oh, that was not cool almost. See that? Failure. My hoses are blocking me. I set them back down in the hole there after I stuck some new O-rings on them, and now they're interfering with what I'm trying to do here. Hang on, let me stick these up high again. Attempt numero dos. Just keep on trying until we're done trying. Start to run this guy down in there. I spilt some oil out of this. When I dropped it, the little plug came off. No matter. I'll give it a 1/4 ounce or so when we're done. We'll shoot it in through the low side with the injector tool. So what we need to do is get this this unit into its location without dropping that bolt out of it. So close. We're gonna have to do this from the bottom. I think that's about right. Okay, let's get these hoses kind of back in their position here. That's good, and I need to rotate the compressor body counterclockwise from our vantage point here. That should line up the ports on the compressor with the angles that are on the hoses here. Let me get you guys down in there. Can you all see? Hope so. I can't. Well, we're trying here. So here's one hose. Let's try to get this guy right over that stud. Same thing here with the second hose. Let's get that out of the way. How's the view, folks? You guys good? I think you're good. I'm actually looking through the camera to see what I'm trying to see here. Seems to be working. Now I need to wiggle those connectors onto the hoses, or onto the compressor rather. Not easy. Come here. How hot. That was the harness connector. Let's just kind of move that out of the way some for now. There's a huge gap here. I got to get this oriented properly. All right, that one fell in. So this guy's on. Wiggle that one in too. That one's on. Okay. And I'm feeling the bottom of these little manifold blocks for space between the compressor and the manifold block. I need to make sure that it's seated completely, because if I put the nut on and it's not straight, I go to tighten it down, it'll actually damage the line and potentially ruin it. And that would be bad. We don't want to ruin the lines. Coming back in with some new nuts. We got one, put one on the bottom right there. Nope, can't reach that one yet. I'll do this one here. I told you earlier it was going to be difficult to get these nuts on here, didn't I? That statement appears to be true. I'm going to thread this down as far as I can by hand. Again, trying to ensure that this manifold block right here does not come off of the compressor. So if it comes off when I'm not looking, I may inadvertently tighten it and cause damage to the line, because our clearance is rather limited. Okay, nut number 2. I think that's my stud that I'm looking for. Yep. I can't see it, but I can feel it. Tightening that guy down. That feels good, getting tight. And again, there's no space here and no space on this one. Let's climb out a little bit and we can fetch our extension and our socket. Get those guys tight. Where is my extension and socket? Oh. Extension and socket. Reaching in, we'll get that first one. Okay, that's on. Ratchet. Oh, you know what? Now that we have the lines on, we can also go ahead and start vacuuming the system down with the machine. We have to pull it into a vacuum before we install the charge. Reason being, all the air and moisture needs to be recovered from the system, because air and moisture do not serve as a good refrigerant. Propane does. Propane is a fantastic refrigerant. Get that one tight. Oh, clickage. Alright. Let's power the machine back on. While that thing's warming back up, we need to raise this thing up in the air and start to line up all those bolts. We've got the center bolt that's still sticking out, the top one, and then the 2 bottom ones. So we can do all that, I think, from the bottom side here. Probably best. There we go. Whew. And that's still waiting. Coming back around. Back to our black subscribe button. See why I put on gloves? That thing is nasty. Alright, I think that's good. Down on the locks for some safety. Whoa, that thing's got some jitters to it. That scared me. It's fine. Anyway, this thing's warmed up. Let's start our vacuum. 10 minutes should be just fine. Beginning vacuum. Let's go back down below and get that thing bolted in. So our top bolt is right there. That's the loose one that's hanging out. What we need to do here is get this thing pushed up and against the engine block. Oh no, the belt's in the way. Pull the belt out of the way. And that wire harness right there. Dirt in my face. Now push this guy up against the block. Looks good there. And I'll put in the 2 bolts. That'll get the thing located and in position. Sorry for the very much lack of light down here. It's a cramped engine space. Okay, 3 bolts are started. She's hanging. Beautiful. 10 mil coming in on the impact. That one's on. That one I need to get at it with the angle, or the swivel rather. And then the one way up top. Good to go. All right, we are done down on the bottom side. Let's let her back down one more time, get that belt tensioned, and then we'll fire this unit up and see if it's gonna run or if it's not. I'm assuming that there is not a restriction in the system because somebody has replaced the condenser already, but I do not know. We're gonna have to find out. And I won't really know until we fire it up. But we can't turn it on because the clutch was junk. This is why you've got to do open-ended diagnostic sometimes. What you don't want to do is smash your stool. But you also don't want to tell a customer, you know, hey, it only needs this when you see like a blown up compressor, because you don't know if there's something else wrong with the system that has caused that compressor to blow up. It could have just been a piece of junk that didn't last a month, but it also could have a very high pressure situation going on, and it just fatigued that compressor to the point of failure. We just don't know.
You don't know, now you know.
You know? Here, let's get our belt on now. That's enough 90s wrap over the alternator, and I need to get it. Uh-oh. It came off the power steering over here. This is what I didn't want to do. Come on. No worries. Came off some more, didn't it? Sure did. Came off the compressor down below. Okay, that's straight. Now it's off again. Ah, the belt's gonna be the hardest part, guys. It's the hardest part. Off the power steering. Dead. Okay, now we're back on track. We're gonna run this under the idler, and I need to push down on the tensioner with the ratchet. There we go. Slip that on. Hope you guys saw all that. Nope. We're on right here now. That's where I slipped it on. Relieving the ratchet, and the belt is now installed. Give me back my ratchet. There we go. Alrighty, the machine just beeped at us. Vacuum's complete. Time for a charge, and it's looking like we're at 1.5 pounds of refrigerant. 1.5 pounds, okay. Shoe. Vacuum test is good. Next step, performed. It is holding vacuum. That doesn't mean it doesn't have leaks. That just means that it doesn't have leaks under a vacuum. Do not save data, 10 minutes. No, we're gonna skip that. We just did that. Fail. Charge, that's the one I want. Checking pressures, do not save, yep. 1.50 pounds refrigerant. 0.150 pounds on the high side, sure. Begin charging now. High side's coming in, low side coming up. Half a pound, 0.6, 0.8, almost 1 pound, 1.1. Yeah, it's taking the charge very quickly. This is good. 1.3. Good, good, good. Keep her going up. She's slowed down. No worries. Okay, we have completed the charge. Let's select hose compensate. So we hit abort for hose compensate. That's the red X. Abort. And what that's going to do is it's going to install approximately 0.3 pounds refrigerant extra from what the scale had weighed. And that is there in order to compensate for how much refrigerant is contained in the lines. Because as far as the scale knows, the lines are part of the system and it can only meter at the scale in the machine. So it installed 1.5 pounds, but some of that was taken up in the service valve hoses. So we're just giving it a little bit of extra in order to compensate for that, hence the term hose compensate. This thing is nearly done. Let's go back around. We'll go ahead and fire up the engine, start the AC system, and then see if it performs. While we're at it, we should grab the thermal meter on the dash. There we go, or put it in the dash rather, and we can check our vent temperatures. Climbing back in. Ooh, tight squeeze through that door right there. Beginning engine starting sequence now. It's got an exhaust leak. Thermometer installed, system powered on. Where's the fan speed? Let's fire up the fan speed. Very good. Now, let's climb back out, head over to the machine, and check all of the pressures. Okay, we're back at the machine. Look at here, we have 165 pounds and 30 pounds. So we have a pressure differential. So we're not sitting at 100 and 100. That tells me that the compressor is suctioning in some refrigerant, running it through, it's compressing it, and the cycle is maintaining because we have a massive pressure drop at the metering device or slash orifice device. I don't know if this has an orifice tube or a TXV. Oh, there it is. Looks like it's got a thermal expansion valve, not an orifice. So TXV is creating the pressure differential. That's where we get our cold from. Machine is done. It says close the valves and disconnect, everybody. Good to go. By the way, I did change service valves when you guys weren't looking. I do that every time on an AC system. They always get new valves. And we can recover the refrigerant in the lines, because if you don't, it'll leak through over time and you'll just lose that refrigerant, and that would be bad. Let's see, I need my cat for my valves. Let those up here. Slap those guys back in. Clicks. Get on there, cat. Please. There we go. Just had to say please. Let's go around the front and recheck the temps now that the system is running. Let's see how she goes. Well, so far we're down to 50 degrees. That's 50. Not bad. I'll take 50 degrees. Pressures look good. Temperatures are looking good. We don't have to worry about the clutch fan because this is equipped with the electric fans. Let's check fan operation real fast. That one's going. This one's going. I think we're good to go here. I'm going to put my wires back where I got them. Need to recover our flashing lights and get this off the rack. This operation is complete and a success. AC has now been repaired. So guys, having said all that, I do not believe I have anything more to offer you on this particular Ford F-150 King Ranch with the 5.4. AC system is working. I do need to give this compressor back to the guy because I guess he's going to try to get the that thing warranted. It was changed not long ago by somebody else. It wasn't a Motorcraft though. I think they used a cheapo compressor. The cheapos I don't think last very long. Anyway guys, as I was saying, I've got nothing more to offer you except for a thank you for watching this video. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it moderately informing and somewhat entertaining. If you did find it to be either of those things, please, again, feel free to let me know about that in the comment section down below. Again, we're looking for user interaction. Do not forget that like button while you're down there. And most importantly, have yourselves a fantastic day. Thanks again for watching. See you guys in the next one, in the video, in the Ford F-150, and the transmission.